Hi, everyone, and welcome to AP Physics. I am so excited to get started with you guys. I have tried to give you guys a little bit of breathing room and not nag at you during quarter one because I know that you guys have been busy with other classes. A lot of you guys were in AP English this last quarter, and that was a really tough class in the quarter system. So I just wanted to give you guys a break, but I'm happy to be here and I'm happy that you guys are here. So I'm Miss Palachek, and I have been teaching AP Physics at Santana High School for, I believe this is the beginning of my 10th year. It used to be AP Physics B, but this is now AP Physics 1. So they took the AP Physics B class and they split it into two different classes. For those of you guys who have much older siblings, you might have a sibling or an older cousin or someone who might have taken that class with me. So anyway, this is AP Physics 1. A little bit about me in this time of craziness. First, I'm sorry that this is how we are starting this class, but I can promise you that we will get through it together. And I hope that in my messages to you guys, you have seen that I really mean that we are going to be like a family and a big team, because this is going to be a tough class. I can't sugarcoat it because I don't want to lie to you. And there's a lot of material to cover in a little bit of time, in a little bit of contact time. But those of you who know me and have had me or have siblings who have had me, you know that I will bust my butt to do everything that I can to make you prepared. I do have two little ones that keep me busy. Those of you guys who have had me know that I have a son named Jason who is 10 and he's in fifth grade at Rio Seco. And I have a daughter who is going to be 6 in a week. Her name is Hope, and she is in kindergarten at Rio Seco. So while I'm in school teaching you guys, my kids will be at school in the AM program at Rio Seco. And we're just doing everything that we can to work with their schedule and our schedule so that I don't have to miss very much school, especially during this quarter and it coming down to AP Physics. So my plan is to be in class as often as I possibly can, or all of the time, provided that we don't get shut down or we don't have to take a step back as a class. My husband and I live up in Ramona, so I do a little bit of a trek in the mornings, but that won't affect you like it did those of you guys who were in my first period honors chemistry last year. So anyway, moving on to physics, a little bit about physics. So we're obviously covering the AP Physics 1 program. You're going to have 6 big ideas that we're covering, and what we're going to do, so the big ideas, kind of everything that we're covering falls into those big ideas of how basically interactions happen in space and time, basically. So we're going to be looking at, for the first week, we're going to be looking at one-dimensional motion, then moving to two-dimensional motion for the second week. Remember, this is a quarter system, so you're doubling up how much material you're covering in a week because you're in half of the classes. Those of you guys who don't have a 6th period class are going to benefit from that time, and hopefully you'll use that time wisely to reach out via messages on email, or if you need to set up a tutorial with me. I do have a class during 6th period, but I will do everything I can to help you guys out. So the first 2 weeks, we're going to be doing motion, 1D and 2D motion, and then we'll move on to forces and how forces are going to affect motion. And then we will go to work, energy, and momentum. And circular motion and gravitation actually will be before work, energy, and momentum. And that's what we're going to cover in this first quarter. So that's 9 weeks that we're going to cover it. So some of you might be wondering about the roller coaster project. The roller coaster project is huge. A lot of people, it's kind of a love-hate relationship. We kind of look forward to it because it's fun, but it's also challenging. And what I've done is I'm going to actually move that to the very end of the year, and that's going to be your culminating project for the end of the year, because I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys as much time as you need to learn the material, and giving myself as much time as I need to be able to get to a point where we can do a review. Okay, so we're going to go over where your assignments are and what you can expect. Okay, so this is going to be your Schoology site, and obviously I have different courses than you do, but you're going to click on AP Physics for period 4, and then once you click on AP Physics for period 4, you're going to see that I have organized things in files. So last quarter, I organized things in files based on unit, but I just learned that it was better if I organized things by days. So this quarter, I'm actually going to end up or organizing things by days for you. The very first folder is live right now, and the second one will be live by the time you see this. But the very first folder is going to be introductory and reference materials. So in that, you have a link to your syllabus. You have a link to the class email that I sent out to the parents and the students. You also have a link to your safety contract, a scientific calculator online, and then also this is going to be huge. This is the AP Physics 1 equation sheet. I highly recommend, if you haven't already, to print that out and find some kind of sheet protector, or if you know anyone who has a laminating machine, laminate that, but you're going to be using that all year long, okay? So then when we go back to the main course page, then you're going to see the folders for each week. So this week, our main focus is going to be one-dimensional motion, and then next week, our main focus is going to be two-dimensional motion. And then at the very beginning of week 3, we're going to take a test on 1D and 2D motion. So if you click on Physics Quarter 2, Week 1, that's going to bring you to this file. Now, something that I am going to do that's going to be kind of a little bit frustrating is I'm going to only have certain files live every day. So a file for week 1, day 1 is going to be live on day 1. Week 1, day 2 is going to be live on day 2. And then if we're going to have some kind of lab or something that we're going to be working on in class, because yes, I am going to try very hard to do labs and figure that out. So those of you guys who are in Tuesday group, it's going to be kind of a learning process. And if we have issues, then I'm also going to have a video of the lab too for you guys to be able to complete the lab. But that is going to be live on Tuesday. And the main idea, so you have a problem. You have a buggy or a car, and somebody else has a car. And I'm going to give you a distance, and I want you to figure out how you or where you need to place a bullseye in order for those two cars to crash. So at what point are those two cars going to crash? And that's going to be your main focus for this week. So you're going to use everything that you've learned this week to determine where those buggies are going to crash, okay? And then what I will do is I will have you record your buggy number, and then I will test those buggy distances at school next Monday after you've turned in your labs. And then part of your grade is going to be based on that, okay? And I'll try to videotape that. I just need to get the materials from the school. So if we click on week 1, day 1, that's going to be the only one that's live to you today. And in the very first post, it just says start here. And that's where you're going to end up starting. And you're going to have the calendar for the week. And then you're also going to have this video. So the one that I'm going to show you right now is going to have kind of an introduction to, so this is also where I will put announcements as well. So make sure that you start here and you read this section, okay? If we've got things like late work is due or coming up due, then I'll go ahead and post it there. So I'm just welcoming you guys to the class. I'm super excited. You guys, I can't state that enough. I really feel like I've missed out on not having AP Physics in my classroom. And then, so you'll see right here, I have quarter 2 chemistry video linked, but I'm going to link this video by the time you see it. And then when you click here, this is going to be Physics 1, week 1 calendar. So with that, you're going to see what you're going to be doing. So what we're going to be working on is we're going to be working on Paul Hewitt, chapter 4, and then we're going to be working through Giancoli, chapters 1 and 2. I won't assign chapter 1 for Giancoli, but I really do recommend you kind of scanning through it, because that's where some of your scientific notation stuff and measurement stuff is. Now, understand that I'm kind of working under the assumption that you have some kind of knowledge in scientific method and scientific notation and scientific measurement, okay? So make sure during class this week that you ask questions if you have them throughout this week. So going back to week 1, day 1, the next thing that you're going to do, so after you watch this video, you're going to go to your first link, and the first link is going to be course setup. So that's where I'm asking you guys, if you haven't already, but I noticed a lot of you guys did this weekend. That's why I want you to make sure that you go through and you sign up for everything. So sign up for a Gizmos account, sign up for Remind. We will be using turnitin.com, but you don't need to sign up for an account through that. You already have one. And then when you're done with that, you're going to take a screenshot that you did sign up for Gizmos. Gizmos is the virtual lab software that we have been using in the science classes, but we're going to be purchasing Pivot Interactives, and that's more focused towards an AP level physics class or an AP level science class. So just be aware of that, and I'll have more information coming down as I get more information. Okay, then you're going to have an introductory Flipgrid right here, and I want you to introduce yourself to me. So tell me what you're excited about. Tell me what you're nervous about. Tell me who you are. Tell me what you go by, and just let me know how I can kind of meet the needs that you have when it comes to this class. And then the next one is going to be Flipping Physics Introductory Concepts playlist. And so that's a playlist done by this gentleman who runs a program called Flipping Physics. I love his stuff. I think that he's very thorough. And because there's a greater AP Physics community and everyone's kind of on this distance learning hybrid model, he really worked throughout this summer to make sure that he really sharpened his videos. And I think that they're really good. So this is going to be an introductory playlist that's going to go through different topics. You can listen to those a little bit faster, at a faster speed than a one speed, but do what you need to do to make sure that you have the information about significant figures, scientific measurement, and then finally SOHCAHTOA, your trigonometric functions, okay? And then finally, you have this link to the pre-course assignment. So those of you guys who are already finished, you're actually mostly done with today's activities. And then we're going to end up picking up tomorrow with really diving deep into these ideas of motion and distance versus displacement, and so on and so forth. So if you are finished with that, you finish early and you're bored out of your mind or something, what I would do is I would start going through chapter 2, and I would start taking notes on chapter 2 in Giancoli. Giancoli is a tough book to read. It's not easy. It's written at a college level, and it's a pretty high college level too. So if you have questions, don't worry about having questions. What I recommend is that you always make sure that you are looking at the sample problems, Do you understand what they're doing in the sample problems? If not, come and check in with me. And then starting tomorrow, I'm going to be releasing videos to you going through some practice problems that I typically do in class. I don't go through a full PowerPoint or anything when I'm running an AP Physics class. This year, it's going to be a little bit different. And then, so I'll go through those questions and I'll embed them in a PowerPoint. And those of you who are coming to school this week, I am going to go ahead and print out those in-class practice problems, but I'll put a link to those if you want to print them yourselves at home as well, okay? If you have any questions, you guys, please reach out. I'm really excited about this year. I can't say it enough. I'm just excited to see you guys, meet you guys if I don't know you, and we're going to get through this, and it's going to be tough, and there are going to be times that you're going to cry. If you're not a crier, cool, you still might cry. But you know what? In the end, we are all trying to get through this together. So form study groups, whether that means through Zoom or through FaceTime or whatever, form study groups, show up to tutorial, but really